All right, back now to today's breaking news in Washington. The investigation into Russia's influence on the 2016 election is center stage today. Top intelligence officials, the topmost intelligent officials in the country, testifying before the Senate Armed Services Committee and shedding light for the first time on the threat that Moscow poses to U.S. cybersecurity. Also speaking out about the criticism leveled at them by Donald Trump.
The intelligence community is not perfect. We are an organization of human beings, and we're prone sometimes to make errors. I don't think the intelligence community gets the credit it's due for what it does day in and day out to keep this nation safe.
The hearing came just hours after a report surfaced that the president-elect plans to revamp U.S. spy agencies. The Trump administration calling the story 100% false. Joining me now is MSNBC political analyst and host of the Hugh Hewitt radio show on the Salem Radio Network, Hugh Hewitt. And with us from Washington, Georgetown law professor David Goodfriend, who served as White House Deputy Staff Secretary under President Clinton. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Hugh, let me start with you. One piece of the testimony we didn't hear were some of the intelligence leaders saying the morale of working for a government when an administration doesn't trust you could actually cause senior people to walk out the door, that people who the country really needs might leave if this continued battle with the administration doesn't die down.
Well, I think that's a quick conclusion, Ali. It was an interesting hearing. There are lots of problems in the intelligence community. Most people agree that DNI doesn't work as it was intended to. I'm looking forward to Mike Pompeo getting to the agency, to a new DNI being in place, to General Mattis taking over, in essence, the Defense Intelligence Agency, to General Kelly
but what's the implication,
Hugh,
what's the implication? That everybody here is no good at their jobs, or they're liars, or they're partisan?
I think the implication is that new leadership...
What's wrong with them?
I think that they're worn out. I think new leadership is needed to inspire. This actually goes back, Ali, to the national intelligence estimate for Iran in 2007, which was broken so badly on the nuclear program in Iran, and the politicization of intelligence following the Benghazi attack. There's simply a lack of confidence on the part of many conservatives in the top echelon of some of the agencies, not in the rank and file, not in the field offices, not in the heads of station. And I think with new leadership, particularly Pompeo and Kelly and Mattis, you'll see a lot of energy return, a lot of focus return, and some structural improvements that are definitely necessary. The quality of the appointments that the president-elect is bringing is very high.
All right, Dave, let me ask you this. After the hearing, Ted Cruz spoke to reporters about the Russian hacking allegations, and he made the suggestion that the interest in this story might be politically motivated. Listen to Ted Cruz.
The reason that I think the media is so excited about this claim and that the Democrats are pushing it so hard is that many Democrats want to somehow question the legitimacy of this election. And I think that is nothing short of absurd.
So Dave, that came up several times in the discussion, in the hearing, and the intelligence heads all said, no, they can't speak to whether or not the outcome of the election was changed. They could certainly say that votes themselves weren't hacked, but this is a bit of a quagmire that Democrats are having to negotiate.
Well, I respectfully disagree, Ali. I mean, you can hear the Republicans varying in their rhetoric, including Mr. Hewitt here and including Senator Barrasso. Now, listen to the words Senator Barrasso said to you just moments ago on your show. He said, this is terrible. This is something we need to investigate. This is something we should always avoid. And contrast that with what you heard Ted Cruz say and what Hugh Hewitt said, where they're trying to scatter blame on Democrats somehow. Now, in my view, this is what's going on. You really do have a national security issue, and God bless John McCain for holding hearings and treating this the way it should be treated, which is as a national security issue. I also think that the senators and the Republicans and the conservatives who are saying, oh, this is just some ploy by the Democrats to sort of delegitimize the Trump presidency. Well, where's Donald Trump? What is he saying? Does he sound to you more like Senator Barrasso, this is a national issue we should all be concerned about? Or does he sound more to you like Hugh Hewitt and Ted Cruz saying, it's just some crazy thing that's made up? I mean, he has the opportunity to act presidential here, and he's blowing it. He's the one who's making this a politicized event, in my view, by somehow trying to cast aspersions and distract us from the real national security issue. Again, I say it loud and proud. God bless John McCain and those Republicans who are willing to treat this as the national security issue that it is.
Hugh, for years, Republicans have charged Democrats with being unpatriotic, and now you got President-elect Trump suggesting that Julian Assange is more trustworthy than the 17 agencies that say that the Russians gave WikiLeaks this information. How do you square that?
Ollie, I have to disagree with you. I don't think he said that. I did not like the fact he quoted Julian Assange. Assange is a very bad man who ought not to be given any credibility or platform by any person of responsibility. But the good professor is hearing things. I just want to welcome all the Democrats to national security seriousness. It's been too long. We did not hear them denounce, as you heard Senator Barrasso say, the red line being erased. You did not hear them denounce the unilateral cancellation of missile defense in Poland and the Czech Republic. You did not hear them denounce the precipitous withdrawal of troops from Iraq in 2011, which led to the rise of ISIS. So I'm glad they are now serious. You didn't hear anything after OPM got hacked by the Chinese. We didn't do anything. There are sanctions under Article 311 of the Patriot Act on banking side that we could have used. There are all sorts of tools
your
that we
points
could have used.
are in direct contradiction to what Donald Trump's been saying we should do about this. He said we should get on with our lives.
What I think President Trump is doing, or President-elect Trump is doing, I wrote a column about it in the Washington Post today. I hope he is playing Russia as effectively as he played the American media and the Democrats, which is not to show your cards, not to commit to anything, and wait until you are actually the president. We have one president at a time. He does not have access to any of the tools of foreign policy. Right now, all he is saying is, get my people confirmed. Mattis,
Why is he
Kelly,
disparaging the
Pompeo.
CIA? Why is he disparaging the CIA and the 16 other agencies? He's actually disparaging them. You heard the director say that today in testimony. Why is he doing that?
I heard the testimony today, and I do not believe that it is correct to say he is disparaging them. He is saying, I wish to be persuaded, after extensive briefings, as to whether or not they are attempting to delegitimize my presidency and whether or not they are as wrong here as they were on the National Intelligence Estimate of 2007.
Well,
and
I'll
we'll find out.
Yeah,
but I would just say,
here,
caution, wait and see.
All right. Well,
I actually think
we're going to
this
get
is
that.
interesting.
We're going to get that briefing. Donald Trump is going to get the same briefing that the president got today. He's going to get it tomorrow. We'll bring you guys back, and once we get the public briefing, which won't be as thorough as the one that either of those two guys are getting, we'll discuss this some more. Guys, thanks very much for being with us, Hugh Hewitt
Thank you.
and David Goodfriend.